The 50% rule is kind of like the cousin to the 2% rule. The 2% rule is really good for telling you whether or not a property will produce profits, but it doesn't really tell you how much profit you should actually expect. That's where the 50% rule comes in. The 50% rule says that on average, over time, about 50% of the income generated by your rental property will go towards all of the expenses related to renting that property. Now, this includes expenses like taxes, insurance, utilities, repairs, and vacancy. The only expense that isn't included is your monthly mortgage. So let's take a look at an example. Say you're renting a unit for $2,000 per month. Using the 50% rule, you know that 50% or $1,000 will go towards your expenses. That leaves you with $1,000 left to pay your mortgage and collect the profit. Let's say, just for example purposes, that your mortgage payment is $700. That then leaves you with a net profit of $300 per month. Again, this is a quick way to determine whether the profit in a deal is large enough to meet your own investment criteria. Now, before we go on and you guys start beating me up in the comments, the 50% rule may not apply perfectly to every single market. Now, there are certain markets where you might have really high taxes, or maybe you're in a place that gets crazy snow and the snow removal costs are really high, or maybe you have a property that has a huge yard that requires a lot of maintenance. The point is, there are lots of factors and variables that may impact the expenses on a property. But remember, the point of the 50% rule isn't meant to be your final analysis on a property. It's simply the beginning of that analysis. Now, before we move on to the last and final rule, do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button and be sure to hit the little bell so you guys get notified whenever we drop a new video. Our goal is to help rookies just like you jumpstart their real estate investing journey. And if you'd like to connect with me personally, head over to Instagram. You can find me at Tony J. Robinson, and I do my best to share a lot of helpful content there as well. All right, it's time for the last and final rule, which is the 70% rule. If you're a flipper or a wholesaler or even a BRRRR investor, which is someone who buys a property, rehabs it, rents it out, and then refinances that property to recapture all of their invested capital, then the 70% rule is going to be your best friend. The 70% rule says that if you add up your purchase price and your repair costs for a property, the total should be 70% or less of that property's after repair value. Say you're looking at a property that's currently in pretty rough shape, but the after repair value of that property is $500,000. And say the property needs about $50,000 in repair. That means the most you can pay for this property is $300,000. So how did I get to $300,000? Because your $300,000 purchase price plus your $50,000 repair cost equals $350,000, which is 70% of $500,000. The reason you want to cap it at 70% is because you want some wiggle room for things like holding costs, closing costs, and any profits you want to make on the deal. There is one caveat to the 70% rule though. It honestly doesn't work well on properties where the after repair values are really low in comparison to the average home price in America. Say, for example, that the after repair value, or ARV, on a property is only $50,000. 70% of $50,000 is $35,000, which only leaves about $15,000 for your holding costs and your profit. Say your holding costs are $10,000, then you've only got $5,000 of profit to make on this deal. Most flippers wouldn't go through the hassle and time of managing a rehab to only make $5,000 when it's all said and done. So that's it. Those are the 3 rules that will help any real estate rookie quickly analyze a potential deal. So really appreciate you guys hanging out with me until the end. If you guys have any questions or comments about these 3 rules, drop a comment below. We'll give you guys a good answer, or at least the best answer that we can come up with. Now, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. We're dropping content like this on a very regular basis to help rookie real estate investors just like yourself jumpstart their investing journeys. And if you guys want to connect with me on Instagram, I am at Tony J. Robinson, and I will see you all in the next video.